those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and later. Deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Play. So let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us here today will be Big on McMordie, Alex Smarts. We got Millz with us today. Tony Brown, Kirk Stuart filling in, and Wayne will join us momentarily. Here's how they'll line up for this evening. Smart, McMordie, Stewart, Brown, Young, Scott, and I will close this one out. Limited card tonight, just a couple of MLB games in prime time. Do have a single from WNBA, so we're going to go with some peripheral tonight. You'll get some WNBA. You'll get some. I've got a hockey pick here as well. UFC on the card is up in Saudi this weekend. So let's go ahead and let's get the show underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Alex Smart. You can catch Alex over at Pick Dogs. We'll bring Alex in right now, ready to roll here with some NHL. Alex, what's happening?
How you doing, Tony? We're going to look at that NHL game tonight. It's Game 6. You know, for the last couple of games, after that big comeback by Edmonton in Game 4, they really showed what a powerhouse they are. You know, I always liked Edmonton. I've liked them all season long. I just didn't think they had the physicality to get out here. And right now, the Panthers have shot themselves in the foot really over the last couple of games. You know, this is a team that's been called for 11 penalties, and that's a lot of backtracking and defensive hockey you have to play, and it'll take the piss out of you. And and as we've seen, it's taken its toll on the Panthers. They've got to be more disciplined here, or the referees have to be more lenient. We'll see what happens here tonight. We know the Panthers. They played great postseason hockey on the road, winning 7 of 10 games. So it's not like, this is like any kind of guarantee or anything, or that the Oilers could sweep the series from this point on and win the Stanley Cup, which would be amazing. I think it's only happened a handful of times over the last 40 years or so. But it's not out of the question, but at the same time, I really think it's unlikely. I really think we have some value here with the Panthers. Like I said, they're great on the road. Paul Maurice, he usually runs a disciplined ship. And like I said, I think that physicality, for some reason, the referees thought it was maybe just too aggressive, and we got a lot of penalties. But tonight, with a lot on the line here, I can really see the whistle being put away, and then the Oilers not having that big advantage that they've had over the last couple of games, and look for Florida, with that heavy presence here. And that what I continue to say is extreme physicality. You come back here, bounce back, win Game 6. Stanley Cup gets hoisted on the road.
All right, this game will be played on Friday, tomorrow night. Panthers are plus 101 here against the Oilers. Yeah, interesting note here how the flow will go here. We're getting to 6 and 7. This is usually when the officials put away the whistles, right? That's kind of how we've seen it over the years in this spot. But I also want to ask you a question here, Coach. Sometimes you get between the ears of these goaltenders. Bobrovsky's had some rough ones here the last couple of games.
Yeah, but this is a great goaltender. Guys like that just don't stay down for long. And, there's really been no momentum in these playoffs. It's really been a situation where nothing really, the word is momentum. And nothing stays the same. And so if you're expecting momentum to carry on here and for Bobrovsky to continue to struggle, I really think that's highly unlikely, and more likely that we get regression to the norm here, and we watch him stand on his head. I would not be surprised at all.
All right, there we go here with Alex on the Panthers Friday night. Gives a light card tonight, so we're going to get to that Friday NHL in here on ABC for tomorrow. All right, Alex, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Cream for tonight's action. No limited card tonight with baseball and WNBA on the board. You can see Alex having a great 2024, over 3,700 units of profit. What do you have going over at the site?
So tonight, I'm going to be passing. I really didn't find anything that I liked that was on an afternoon game today. And tomorrow, there'll be more Major League Baseball, of course, into the weekend, possibly some WNBA. And still been mulling over the CFL. You got to be careful. It's such a small market. Lines move very quickly. So, I need some stabilization before I get down on things, and offer it to my clients too, because at the same time you don't want to offer a line that I grabbed at 2 and it's up to 4.5 or something. Bad numbers all the way around. So anyway, we're gonna just stick with the WNBA and Major League Baseball for now.
All right, guys, get over with Alex Spot over at Pick Dogs Premium. Great results for 2024 over 3,700 units of profit. No better time to get on board with Alex on that 1 month pass. All of his baseball and WNBA here for the next 30 days. Pick gets a promo code, save that 15% off. All right, Alex, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Okay, Tony. Take care, buddy. Bye.
Yeah, well, Alex Smart here on the Drive to. We'll continue on. No traffic of the day. We got all the games covered. Very limited card tonight, so we'll continue on. Some NBA draft talk will be in the news a lot now here for the next 2 weeks. As of course, there's a lot of news concerning coaching vacancies. I know there's been a trade in the NBA, Giddy, for Caruso, OKC, and the Bulls. And I think the Bulls, we kind of thought this during the season they were going to be sellers, but the Bulls decided to go with it. I think some of the players wanted them to stick with the team. Bulls get eliminated early. And, of course, now it looks like the Bulls are going to break up their team. They may be the candidate for the 24-25 first team is tank. We'll see how that rolls here. I think the Bulls might want to get younger, but we'll follow that as the NBA season starts in October. But let's go ahead and bring in Big Al McMordie because the draft isn't too far away. You can bet on these things. Big Al, what's happening?
Not much. I think it was it last Thursday where I put out with you at the end of our talk, Risa Shea at plus 190 to go first in the draft, and the odds have significantly moved since then, Tony.
Yeah, so let us know here. But I know the Frenchmen, there are a couple of Frenchmen making the headlines here on these mock drafts.
Yeah, obviously for the last few months, people have been speculating that Risa Shea and Alexander Sarr were going to be the top two players picked. But then, of course, to have the draft lottery, and the Atlanta Hawks won the draft lottery, and Quinn Snyder and the Atlanta management, they really like Donovan Clingan. So when you're trying to figure out who's going to go first and who's going to go second and who's going to go third, et cetera, you need to know who's drafting, right, and what they're interested in. So all indications is right now that Atlanta is choosing between Risa Shea and Clingan. And most teams, not named the Atlanta Hawks, would be choosing between Sarr and Risa Shea. So what's interesting here is the Hawks have to figure out, are they going to keep the number one pick or are they going to possibly trade down? One rumor is that San Antonio would package the number 4 and the number 8 picks because San Antonio loves Risa Shea. And so if Atlanta thinks they can get Clingan at number 4, that could be an interesting deal where San Antonio ends up getting Risa Shea and Atlanta ends up getting, Clingan plus the number 8. But, I just don't have the confidence that San Antonio is actually going to trade 2 prospects for 1 prospect like this because, there's not much separating any of the top, 5 or 6 picks. So it doesn't really make sense to only get 1 bite at the apple when you can get 2 bites out of the apple. So I think Atlanta's going to probably end up keeping the number 1 pick. And so for our video here, what I'm going to do is actually try to predict who's going to be drafted second and not first. Because I'm pretty comfortable with it being either Risa Shea or Clingan at number 1. And as I mentioned, Risa Shea's odds have now plummeted. They were plus 190 when I gave it out last week. Now Risa Shea is the favorite to be drafted first, and I think he's minus 110 right now at Bovada. Clingan has come down to be plus 300 to be drafted first, and Alexander Sarr right now is plus 130. So last week Sarr was minus 210. He's now plus 130 to be drafted first. I think they're going to choose between Sarr and Risa Shea. They're going to choose between Risa Shea and Clingan. So I like Sarr to be drafted second by the Washington Wizards. And when you take a look at Bovada's odds right now for Sarr to go second, it's pretty good. You can get him at minus 110. And I think that's a steal. Because, I just don't, they're going to be choosing Risa Shea or Sarr, and, I think Sarr is going to fall to them, and I think the Wizards are going to be really happy to get Sarr at number 2, and I like him at minus 110 at the current odds at Bovada.
Good for the Wizards. Bad for Sarr. Going to the Wizards. The Wizards just...
Hey! Would you rather... is Atlanta that much better of a bargain?
Atlanta's had a little bit more a better history on the court than the Wizards have.
I don't know about that.
I mean, just making the playoffs, Trae Young.
Atlanta's. I mean, the St. Louis Hawks. You have to go back to the St. Louis Hawks to find when Atlanta even has won anything.
That's true. The Washington
Wizards at least beat the
70s.
Seattle Sonics. They're both sad sack franchises, but. Yeah. I mean, you're splitting hairs to try to say the Atlanta Hawks is a better destination than the Washington Wizards.
Well, at least we've seen we've seen the Wizards in the postseason, but I think if you go over and look overall over the past 10 years or so, I think the Hawks have had, Young and company, they were more respectable.
It's. I've lived in Washington D.C. I mean, I don't know. I would trust. I also like Washington's ownership group more, so I'd rather be in Washington than Atlanta. But that's just.
All right. So what do the Spurs do with 4-8? That's your team.
Oh God. The key to it, I think, is knowing who. They had a private workout between probably their top two guard targets, Devin Carter and Stefan Castle. And so depending on which player did better in their one-on-one matchups in that private workout would probably tell you how San Antonio is going to go. Because if Devin Carter outplayed Castle, then what I would do is I would take Modest Buzelis at 4 and take Carter at 8. But if Castle's their guy, then they're going to want to draft Castle at 4, and then maybe they get Salon, the French kid, at number 8, or who knows where they go with 8 if they get Castle. They could go with another guard. I don't know if they'd go with both Castle and Carter. I mean, that seems kind of crazy because there's only so much playing time to go around. But, the rumor is, I think, all things being equal, it's probably going to be Stefan Castle. But if I'm king of the world, I would draft Buzelis and then draft whichever guard falls to 8, whether it's, Castle or Carter, or you could even take a flyer on Topic. He's going to be out all next year, but who gives a shit? Just draft Topic at 8, and in 5 years you'll see where the kid is. But we'll see. I think Houston at number 3. They're a slave to analytics, so I think most people are expecting Houston to take Reed Shepherd because he's an analytics darling. So, but maybe Houston would take Stefan Castle. I mean, you just never know. But I kind of expect Houston's going to go with Reed Shepherd there.
Of course, Spurs, more freshmen, 1 year, and out another young guy under 20, right?
Yeah.
It's a stock.
But there's a lot of other, the most interesting, whatever you want to call it, I can't think of the word, but what's going on with this draft is, first they're separating the first round from the second round. So the first round is going to be on the 26th, and the second round is going to be all by itself now on the 27th. And Bronny James is probably going to go in the second round, and people are trying to figure out who's going to draft him. And if it's not the Lakers, for example, and some of the teams they're throwing out there would be the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the San Antonio Spurs. And it would be interesting if San Antonio would draft Bronny at, I think it's 33 is where they draft, because, then you can have possibly LeBron on your team. LeBron's making no guarantees, but right. I think if it's San Antonio, that's a team where LeBron would make the jump to. LeBron's not going to go to, a team like Phoenix because they don't have the money to pay him. But San Antonio does have the money to pay LeBron. So, there's a lot of storylines here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see here. Of course, the drama, LeBron a free agent. Of course, JJ gets signed with LA as a head coach. There is a relationship there, albeit a podcast relationship between JJ and LeBron. I don't know. People maybe look at more than what it is. It's a podcast relationship, right? Business deal. But
LeBron. If LeBron can get paid his value and play on a team that has a chance to go deep in the playoffs, he's gone.
Yeah.
If Bronny doesn't get drafted by the Lakers, like if Bronny goes to, a Minnesota or a Philly, I'm not sure what their how much they can spend on free agents, but if the team has the cap space and they're going to be competing for a playoff. LeBron's out of there if they draft his kid.
Well, the thing with Pops' system lately is that he plays a lot of guys. When you look at the box scores, these guys play about 30. His players play about 30 minutes, and it's spread out.
Yeah, I mean, but when you get more competitive, then that changes, right? It's easy to do that when you're trying to develop talent and you stink. But I think they're going to increase Wemby's minutes. I think he averaged 29 or whatever it was last year, 28 or 29. But he'll be in the 30s, mid 30s.
What's the ceiling for the Spurs in the upcoming season? What would you think?
It depends on if they get any veteran talent. Like, do they make a trade for DeJounte Murray? Do they get LeBron James? Do they, who's on the team? But if the team is just what it was last year and, for example, let's just say Castle and Salon and, the ceiling, 40 wins, competing for a play-in spot maybe. I mean, which would be a nice jump, but they're, they need a veteran at point guard if they're going to, get into like the 7 hole or the 6 hole.
Okay, interesting to hear.
They need more.
Then, of course, now we're into the free agency and we're getting to some of the trade. We have a word of our first trade already with Caruso and Giddey switching teams. But I think.
Oh, I didn't see. I've been out all days. So Giddey was traded for Caruso.
Caruso, yeah. And it looks like what we thought was going to happen. Although we thought this was going to happen at the All-Star break, they're looking to break up the Bulls. That's what they're looking to do.
Okay, so they traded Caruso for. Yeah, because there was also talk that Caruso could have been packaged for the number 1, pick as well. Chicago was looking to move up because Chicago was targeting Klingon or Buzelis. So that's probably not in consideration anymore then.
Yeah, but of course OKC can't pay everybody, so the thought there was maybe Giddey was the one they weren't going to be able to pay, so they wanted to move him. So that's how it looks now. And of course, there's still a lot of the Bulls are looking to move. They're looking to move a lot of the Bulls right now. So that's talk right now.
Are they looking to move Levine?
Levine is in discussions with Sacramento. That was the word today. But they're going to hear a lot of talk right in the next 2 weeks with a lot of the Bulls players on the move here. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
At the trade deadline, their management basically said they wanted to, win now. They didn't want to dispose of their assets. They wanted to, make a playoff push, and they probably should have traded at the deadline instead of now. But
they had a little spurt there where they decided to go with it. And what I mean for the fans' purpose, they didn't try to tank it. All right, so Big Al here on Alexander Stark, drafted number 2, -110. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium here. Limited card tonight, but Big Al have really good NBA NHL season this year. Good results over the period of time as well. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I've got Canadian football posted for I think it's Saturday and Sunday already. I've got my CFL total of the month on Sunday. And then I've got a side play on Saturday, and I'll probably have another side winner in the CFL as well posted shortly. I was 1-1 today over at Pick Dogs. I cashed in the WNBA with the Chicago Sky, but I lost in extra innings with my baseball play on the Twins. And I've got nothing, such a short card, nothing going tonight. But I'll be back with stuff on Friday, probably baseball, and maybe some WNBA as well.
And for those big bettors, they can get on call here or text with their all access.
Yeah, just call 775-636-7676. You must be able to get down 1 to 10,000 a game. One of the benefits that we talk about all the time here, you get all of the games rated from 10 stars down through 1 star, so it's a huge benefit. And just call 775-636-7676.
There you go. Get on board with Big Al, all access. All right, Big Al, have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you guys next week.
Tony.
You got it.
Okay, yeah, next week, Wednesday, the draft. Can't wait.
That's right. The draft will be there. It'll be excellent. All right, Big Al McMordie here on the drive. Talk to you then. Here on the drive. All right, let's continue here. Next, here up on the drive-through, we're going to bring in Kirk Stuart. You'll catch him over at Pick Dog. I'm going to get you coverage tonight here from the WNBA. Remember, there was a day game already. This will be the primetime game tonight, standalone game tonight in W. Kirk, what's happening?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go tonight. Sparks on the road here, facing Spark on this long road trip, facing the Liberty here. We're seeing the big line here. Of course, Liberty 14.5, total 167. Of course, the news there with the Sparks was a horrific injury to the rookie.
Yeah, that was tough to see. Yeah, as you said, smaller card today. Don't really have too much going on today either, but I love the NBA draft talk. I actually got Risa Share plus 300 about 2 months ago to go number 1 overall, so that's looking good. But yeah, here, Sparks Liberty. Sparks actually have been able to play decently well against good teams. They beat the Aces this year. They lost by 9 to the Sun. They've kept good teams out of Bay at close range and striking distance, honestly, to win those games. So I think this line is too big. I know they're on a road trip, but the Liberty are also coming off a loss against who'd they play? The Mercury? Yeah, they played the Mercury. And that was pretty disappointing. So if there's a spot to fade the Liberty, it's right now. I like the Sparks plus 14.5.
All right, the play here will be the Sparks plus the big number here, plus the 14.5. The Sparks are just a team that can cover spreads, and when she went down, it was looked a little grim there, but the Sparks were able to make that back and get into the back door, cover against Connecticut, and shoot the ball well in that game, 50%.
Yeah, no, they surprised me in that one. I mean, Connecticut's the best defensive team in the league, and they scored 70 points on them, which a lot of teams haven't been able to do this season. So, not a bad play here at all. What was I going to say? The Liberty. Yeah, they've been really good, but they haven't won by double digits, I think, in their last 4 games, or maybe by 11 or 12, but they haven't won by 15 plus in any of their last 3 or 4 games. So Sparks did backdoor cover, as you said, so I like the Sparks here.
Of course, this is the first of 2, right? They're gonna stay in New York and play on the 22nd, so kind of like the old NBA, right? The NBA now, where they they cut the travel and just stay in the same city.
Yeah, no, this will be, I think, yeah, as you said, it's Saturday noon or something game for the second game in this series. But, yeah, I mean, this will kind of show how this is going to go, this first game. But I just can't trust the Liberty against a loss against the Mercury. I didn't think the Mercury really had it in them, but Mercury have been surprising as well. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Liberty come out and win this one by 40, but I don't see it in this one.
Yeah, first road game here for the Liberty after a West Coast trip. So that's also an angle there. You can see the number here, 14.5. There are some 15s in plenty of places, so you can just grade Kirk there on the 15, plus the 15 here against Liberty and Sparks here. This one over on Prime, top of the hour. All right, Kirk, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium Nice Action. Limited card, as we said here, with baseball, the W in action, also CFL. What do you have going over at Pick Dog Premium?
Yeah, I got one late game play for longer term clients today. So if you want to hop on a 3-day or 7-day, I have one MLB play tonight. Besides that, I got my Euro 3-pack already up for tomorrow. It's profitable today on that, looking to build on it tomorrow. And yeah, I'll definitely have MLB going this weekend, WNBA. So now heading into the weekend's a good time to hop on a 3-day or 7-day to get all my picks. As last weekend I was really hot, and this weekend hopefully the same happens.
That's right, guys. Got on board with Kirk Stuart over at Pick Dog Stream. No better time now to get on those long-term passes, 3, 7, or 30 all sports pass. You get all those Kirk's premium plays for that period of time you select. When you get to his handicapper page and make that purchase, use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. And also, Kirk, you also have a video series up here over on the Pick Dog YouTube channel with your totals, and we also see you with Goran working on the soccer.
Yeah, I've definitely been grinding on the videos lately, probably about 3-4 videos a day. With probably even alone with Goran now, as we're doing Copa America videos for each day, we're doing Euro videos for each game. Then I got my daily MLB over/under videos as well, where I tell you go over or under and kind of look at the pitching matchup, bullpen, how the teams have been hitting lately. So try to analyze the trends and data and give you guys some good picks on that one.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at the Copa America odds, and I was surprised. I know U.S. and Mexico are underdogs. But I was surprised that Mexico was a bigger underdog than U.S. to take the Copa. Have Mexico fallen off that much?
Yeah, I mean they have. It's kind of surprising. I should have done a Copa pick for today. I didn't even think about it, but yeah, no, they have. I think this is the tournament for the U.S. where they really set them sides apart from Mexico. I I think they're expected to go to the semifinals, the U.S. I mean, Brazil, Argentina are the two favorites, but then it's really, I'd say, up for grabs in terms of who's really that third best team in the Copa. And I think U.S. definitely has the talent this year to really take that third spot.
All right, guy. Copa, South American tournament, U.S. and Mexico in there, right? They allowed a couple of CONCACAFs in there. Sometimes they go outside out America. Sometimes you'll see teams from Asia, Europe in there as well.
Yeah, no, I think Copa is only South, Central, and North America, and then sometimes they'll have like World Cup qualifiers against like Oceania or something like that. So it's kind of confusing, but this is South, Central, and North America. So it is in the U.S., so it'll be a good tune-up for the World Cup for them as well, playing in some of those same stadiums.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention to you the fact that, U.S. and Mexico and Canada, they pretty much have buys into the World Cup. How does that impact this team's, getting prepared for the World Cup? There might be some slippage, not knowing that you don't have to qualify anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either they play terribly and they're lucky to get into the World Cup, or they play great and the whole nation is really excited for them to host the World Cup. I mean, I'm really excited for the World Cup to be here. I'll definitely be going to some games, but yeah, they have their opening match against Bolivia. This should be a very winnable match for them. I think they'll win 2-3-0 even in this one. So I think they started off strong here, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see. A lot of the fields here are turf, which a lot of the European players aren't used to, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, Copa doesn't have the strength here to force those fields to be changed to grass like they did the World Cup, right? They don't have the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the World Cup, they's got to be played on grass. I know this is way before your time, but when the World Cup was here, I saw the famous Colombia-U.S. game in Pasadena. Oh. I was there for that one. No.
That's awesome.
And I saw the guy kick his own the own goal. Was perfect view of that. That was crazy. That was crazy. All right, Kirk. Have a great one. And guys, make sure you subscribe to the videos here, to the channel, so you get all of Kirk's soccer. Getting very busy in the summer, man. We got Euros. I'm going to call it European Champions, the way we used to call it. It's Euro now. We've got the Euros, and we've got Copa America going on. So lots going on right now in the world of soccer. All right, Kirk, have a great night. We'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, thank you. Might not see me tomorrow. I might be at the parade, and we don't know how long that's going. So go Celts. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he said the post parade is what's going to keep him from the show, I think. All right, have a great night, Kirk. We'll catch you later.
All right, have a good one.
You as well. Kirk Stuart here on the drive-thru out there in Boston to celebrate the championships and then, of course, the post-celebration indeed. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. Somebody knows a little bit about celebrations, being a Laker fan, is Tony Brown. Of course, the Lakers make some news today, and of course, we're getting near the draft, so that will be exciting. Of course, a lot of free agents, and of course, a lot of trades going on in the NBA will be coming up. The Bulls, as we said, there's going to be a fire sale right now with the Chicago Bulls, so keep an eye on their rosters, and we'll see what happens. Tony Brown, what's going on? Do you like anybody on the Bulls roster? Because apparently there's going to be a fire sale for the Bulls players.
No.
No?
I mean, not like that, but not really. Like, nobody on the Bulls is really the answer for what we got going on.
All right, there you go. All right, Tony Brown, tonight, lone game. Oh, well, no, we got a couple of games here in Major League Baseball. This is your late game tonight. Brewers at the Padres. Short line here, Padres 107 till 8.5.
Yeah, I actually like the Brewers this time as an underdog. You're getting a little bit of plus money with the Brewers. And, I mean, they're just playing good baseball right now. These are literally two teams headed in opposite directions, with the Brewers going 4-1 in their last 5 games. And they actually come into this game off back-to-back wins. While the Padres, they only have won once in the last 6 games. They did win their last game last night against Philly, but that was their first win in the last 6 tries. Not to mention the Brewers have just been a thorn in the Padres side for as of late. They took 4 of the last 5 meetings with San Diego, and even more impressive, they took 6 of the last 7 meetings actually on this field. So home field advantage will be no advantage at all. And no, the game's not played on paper, but sometimes stats are too big to ignore, so we won't. And let's take the Brewers with the better numbers and the plus money.
All right, Tony Brown here on the Brewers here in this one against the San Diego Padres tonight. They're throwing Mazur up there, who's been hammering. It's going to be a lot of bullpen tonight, I think, for this Padres team. No doubt about that.
Yeah, Yeah, I was about to say he's been getting racked. I mean, I didn't just want to pound on the Padres. I just gave my reasons for why I'm taking the Brewers. But yeah, he's 0-2. He only had 2 losses in his starts, and his ERA is a shade under 8. I think it's like 7.8, 7.9. So yeah, I think he's going to get hit early and often, and this will be a heavy bullpen game for San Diego.
Yeah, a lot of walks. That's been hurting him. Of course, this is a Padre team that's dealing with injuries to Darvish, to oh God, who's their other right-hander? The former Pirate. He's out too. So they've been dealing with injuries. Also, they've had their struggles here at home this season.
Yeah, now that you know, like the NL West, how bad it is. Well, for all that being said, they're still second in the NL West, and the division just seems down right now. I mean, the Dodgers are playing well, but everybody else isn't, including Arizona, who was our representative for the World Series last year. But yeah, San Diego, they're under 500 and still sit second in the NL West, so that bodes well for them as the season goes on, and they'll get healthier and things of that nature. But as of tonight, great spot for the Brewers to win as a dog on the road.
Okay, we know the Lakers dropped 17th, and they also dropped, I believe, 55th. Is there anybody out there that you think that can help this roster? The Lakers have not had much help from the draft recently.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound funny, but it's a double entendre. The best person who can help us in the draft this year is Bronny James. And it's not literally him, it's just gonna help us keep his dad. You know what I mean? Like if Dallas drafts Bronny, if San Antonio drafts Bronny, if any of those teams that actually can, make the move and draft Bronny, LeBron will go. He'll go play with his son and play with a contender. So there's nobody in this year's draft that's as good as LeBron James. So if that means grabbing his son to keep him, then the best person in the draft that can help us is Bronny at 17.
I know, Tony Brown, you were just sick of this coaching search. You just want to hire the coach, let's go. Kind of that's how you looked at it?
Yeah, and like literally, like I always said, it wasn't Darvin Ham that got us messed up, and it wasn't a Darvin Ham that was going to get us over the hump. At these stages of the playoff, at this stage of LeBron's career or whatever, like he knows the X's and O's better than almost anyone. So we just need a coach, to fill in the X's and O's and the plays. And I think JJ Redick is a good coach just because he went to Duke, so he's smart. And then him and LeBron have that podcast together, so they're going to have a rapport already coming into this thing. And I think it'll be the Steve Kerr effect. Steve Kerr never coached. He was just a sub-tier player, Michael Jordan's sidekick, and then he came and got Golden State, and you see the rest is history. So I think J.J. Redick is like, 2024 Steve Kerr. He's never had any coaching experience, but he had a great professional career. Smart kid. He's going to come into a, all-world LeBron and an all-star AD, so he's going to have a ready-to-go team. And I think Lakers will have the Golden State effect, and we can just avoid Denver. As long as we avoid Denver, I think we can win a championship.
Denver's gonna be back next year. We have not seen the last.
They were there this year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dallas avoided Denver and got into the bracket with Minnesota and the OKCs, and you see they went to the championship. So if we could have avoided Denver, I think we would have been Dallas, and I definitely think we would have beat Boston.
Yeah, that possibly would have happened there, no doubt about that. We'll see how this rolls here. Of course, Kerr with Lute Olson, and of course Coach K there with JJ. So there is some pretty good college coaching that both of these players have had. So we'll see how that works. All right, Tony Brown will be on the Brewers tonight against the Padres. Tonight's MLB. All right, Tony Brown. Let's take a look over at Pick Doctrine for tonight's action. Of course, limited card tonight from baseball and WNBA and CFL. Tony Brown having a great Major League Baseball year this year. What do you have going over at Pick Docs Premium?
Yeah, we only got one game tonight because we had a huge card this morning, and we already went 4-1 with that card. So we had 6 games in MLB. We went 4-1 in the first 5, and we're gonna nail the last one tonight. We had a great day yesterday. We went 5-1 in MLB, so we got to update those numbers over there. But just per usual, another great season in MLB. No more basketball soon. No more hockey to worry about. Just all baseball all the time, and that's where we start to shine. The boys of summer really come through for us.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Tony Brown over at Pick.com. Why not get on board with that 1-month pass? All of Tony Brown's 30 days of baseball and the WNBA, and use the promo code PICK at checkout. We'll save you that 15% off. The 1-year VIP is also available. Hey, looks like Vegas Aces are getting healthy, and they look pretty good now.
Yeah, I told you the Aces have the Lakers effect. They're just too good for their own good. Back-to-back championships. Asia Wilson is Michael Jordan. Everybody else is everybody else. And we just went to a point where we had a 3-game losing streak. I think the girls were enjoying Vegas more than they were playing basketball. they turned it on just like they turned it off, and like they look unstoppable again. And I think they're going to three-peat.
I think right now a lot of them are looking forward to the Olympics. I think the first half of the season will just be a distant memory. The focus will be in the second half, especially since they're taking they're getting an Olympic break.
Right, seriously. And then all the Caitlin Clark commotion and all that stuff will be then died down, and they'll just get back to some basketball, and then they know how to do it. They've done it twice in a row. They got the best player on the floor every night, no matter who they play, and look for us to go 1, 2, 3 in a row.
Yep, no doubt about that. And the coach kept her composure. There was some bad moments there during that losing streak, but she didn't lose the team because I was expecting her to blow up. There's been some sloppy play there, but now that they're getting healthy, they're starting to look back to their championship form again.
Yeah, Becky Hammond is crazy, but at the end of the day, she's a pedigree from Greg Popovich. So, you know, she's crazy like a fox. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's going to have those girls ready, and that's why she's a back-to-back champion. But, you know, she got a little bit of that, what's the guy's name who used to throw the chairs and all that at his kid?
Bobby Knight.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of that Bobby Knight inside of her when she just goes crazy. So I'm glad that she held it together during that time.
She did hold it together because trust me, there was some times, especially inbound to the wrong girl. There was some times like that were just like head scratching.
And she will literally snap. She will call a timeout and like grab the girls by the collar. Like she don't mess around. But like I said, that's why they're 2-time back-to-back champions. And when you come from coaching with Greg Popovich, you can't help but be good. I mean, she was coaching the men's team for a second, so you know, I mean, she's I can't question her tactics, even though they are a little strange.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Tony Brown, have a great night, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, always appreciate being here, and I'll see you guys next week.
You got Tony Brown here on the drive here. Let's continue on the show, guys. As we're going to get ready here for the next step. Capper is going to be Millz, and then we'll get to Wayne. Wayne will get us that pick tonight from the baseball game. Millz, we're going to get some UFC coverage here. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in right now. We're ready to roll here. Of course, he's a content contributor over at Pick Dogs. Knows the UFC like the back of his hand. He's a member of the media, a journalist. He's out there with the fighters, interviewing them, attending fights. Let's get him in here right now. Millz, what's going on?
What's going on, Tony? How is everybody doing today?
Doing great. All right, we're going all the way, halfway around the world. We're going to Saudi Arabia. It's a lot of money out there. They got to make sure the fights are right. We want good fighters out here. We're Saudi Arabia. We're going to deliver you the money. You're going to deliver us top-notch fights. And tonight we got UFC. Actually, ABC will cover this because it's halfway around the world, so it's kind of the afternoon hour out here on the East Coast. Let us know about the one you're looking at here at Gastelum and Rodriguez.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good event going on. It's Saturday morning, bright and early for you guys. 9 a.m. Pacific time, the prelims start, and I think the main card is going to kick off around 12 p.m. But this fight right here, I know a lot of people like betting on underdogs. I do too, but that's only when it's right. I don't like taking dog shots just because the odds are there. I like taking them when I actually think that fighter could win, and that's what I'm doing with this one right here, man. Daniel Rodriguez only got 4 losses in the UFC, and 2 of them is coming off of back-to-back losses in there. But this is the thing that I like. This is his weight class. This is his division. Kevin Gastelum was stepping down to the welterweight, trying to make weight in this division. Guess what, folks? He didn't make weight. So now this fight just got moved from 170 all the way up to a 185 middleweight fight. He couldn't even make it a catchweight at 180. Man, he's been having that problem for his whole career. Daniel Rodriguez is going to be able to pop that jab out there, attack the body. I love the plus money with Daniel Rodriguez on here. Both of these guys are from the West Coast, Tony. Both of these guys, they like to do some West Coast things. But in this one, I think Daniel Rodriguez is the real West Coast G in this one. Give me the plus money on D-Rod, plus 188. I'll bet it at a plus 195. Now money's coming in on him because Kevin Gastelum missed weight. So I actually love Daniel Rodriguez at plus money.
So what are the ramifications when you miss weight here for Gastelum? It's a middleweight bout. Does it lose money?
Oh, you lose big money. You lose 30% of your purse, but that's minimum, okay? So if the fighter on the other side says, you know what, I'm not going to take that 30% and take the fight, they might even give them 50%, So, yeah, in this one, you got Daniel Rodriguez now going to be getting 30% of Kevin Gastelum's purse, just for taking this fight. So, yeah, man, there's a lot to gain and a lot to win for Daniel Rodriguez in this one.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question here. We always hit the term professionalism going on missing weight. You don't see it very often. Back in the day, you didn't see it very often in boxing. They would really manage the weight very well with these fighters. But Why did we see it? Why did this happen? Why did this happen so much in combat sports that these fights miss weight?
Well, this is why. Back in the day, they didn't have so many events, okay? So you might have had, like, back in the day, like maybe 4 to 5 total UFC events that whole year. Nowadays, you got 3 to 4 events per month. So that means that a lot of these fighters are fighting a lot more routinely and stuff like that. With that being said, they have 13 weeks to make weight in this one. Why they aren't? Man, just seems like unprofessionalism going on right now, and a lot of fighters, sometimes they use it as their advantage to come in and miss weight. You miss weight, you don't got to kill your body those extra days on the scale. You seen how that works out in boxing too. So yeah, that's some of the advantages with it. But that 30% perch getting taken, yeah, man, it's definitely not the way you want to go.
No doubt about that. That's as we talked about, it's not the way you want to do it in the UFC or any type of professional sports. It's not a smart way to go about your business. There's no doubt about that. I know that we're gonna just going through some of the fights here. I know this is your main event, right? Whitaker and Askarov in this one, pretty closely in line here, $1.48. This middleweight bout.
Yeah, man. So many fights on this card got canceled more than Kanye and P. Diddy and the culture. But so this one, you had Kazmat Chamarov that was supposed to be taking on Whitaker. Now Alec Alaskarov is stepping up in his place. Man, it's a first-round fighter in Alec Alaskarov. He goes out there in that first round trying to finish his opponent. I like Robert Whitaker, man. I got to give him his due diligence and due respect. He was a former champion. I think at a -135. Now he's at a -148. That would be the play, man. I think he can extend this to the second or third round. But if he can't, then Alec Skarov's going to be dangerous in the first round.
There you go. Of course, looking at some of the rankings here, number 3 ranked here is a big one. Here's a big one here. Heavyweight fights, number 3 and number 5 here. Pavlovich and Volkov. Boy, this is a big fight for their career here. We see Pavlovich here favored 236, 1.5 on the rounds. Heavyweights.
Yeah, man. Both these guys are friends, man. So they actually didn't want to fight. They're both from the same country, Russia. And out there, it's not a lot of them to train with. But they were training partners at the time, but they had to fight now. Oh, man. Pavlovich usually knocks out all his opponents in the first round. In this one, I'm going to be playing round 2 to start. Just because I think that these guys are going to be a little bit more hesitant to throw. With all that being said, I still think Pavlovich gets it done.
We saw the Russians dominate the heavyweight division for a while. Are they headed that way in the UFC? We're starting to see some top contenders in this weight class.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Russians been dominating kind of in the UFC since Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, and, all the up-and-coming Dagestani Russian wrestlers. It's those type of Russians, though. It's the Dagestan Muslim wrestlers from Russia. It's not your, Drago-looking, American-looking, Russians and stuff. Yeah. It's actually a whole different breed.
There you go. So we can look at the fights here. We know we do have a lot of cancellations here as we kind of go through some of the card here. We're kind of looking at some of the ABC fights here, Chris. I know we're looking at Walker and Ozdemir, right, going head to head, light heavyweights.
Yeah, Walker and Ozdemir. It's an even fight on there. Even though this odds ain't that, but Volkan Ozdemir versus Johnny Walker is the even fight in there. I like Volkan Ozdemir to get it done. Johnny Walker, you can't trust him. He's one of those guys that goes out there. His fight IQ's out the window. And he's not even fighting the same dangerous way that he used to. He used to go out there and try to knock people out, flying knees, spinning elbows. Now he's turning into a point fighter on here. Volkan Ozdemir actually fought for the title against Daniel Cormier, So I got to go with Volkan Ozdemir in this spot as a pick 'em off.
All right, that's your ABC card, your main event card on ABC. We also have some prelims and anything off the prelims that catch your attention.
Let me think. So on the prelims, not necessarily. Well, yes. Muhammad Naimov. Muhammad Naimov is going to be taking on Diego Lima. And that fight right there, Naimov, he opened up as a -160 favorite, and a lot of money's coming in on Lima in this spot right here. I think this is a spot to where Naimov should be able to get the job done. I actually like him, and I think by the time the fight starts, we're going to get about some plus money odds. So I'll take Naimov in that one.
Naimov, there you go. Millz with his UFC picks here for you here on the drive through, right, Millz? Let everybody know what you got going over at Pick Dog's YouTube channel, content producer. Of course, you've got your prop shop as well as a lot of content here from UFC.
Got it. You guys can still see me because I don't know what happened tomorrow.
You're good.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. So over here, we got the UFC rundown. We went over all the picks that came out yesterday for you guys. You guys can check that out. Then the prop shop, we've been dropping all you guys with the best third props, covering the hockey props, covering the baseball props for you guys. No more basketball. So I'm going to be just, engulfed in baseball pretty much for you guys. With that, I always go over my best 4 pitcher props for the day. Then I give you guys a few base props and a few home runs with that on top. So besides that, and then you got the UFC tiers videos. That's where we're ranking all the UFC fighters and giving you guys the best ones in the tiers division by division. Besides that, check us out right here on Big Dogs so you guys know what we got going on. Hit that notification, hit that subscribe.
Like, subscribe, set notifications when Millz drops these videos. Prop Shop, UFC, you get them right away. He covers it in depth, as you know, here with his appearances on Drive Thru. Check him out there on the video form on the video series. All right, Millz, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great week, and we'll catch up with you next week. But real quickly, the Kings draft here, we will talk until the draft will be over. So how do you see the Kings draft here? Where they're going to be at 13th and 44th, I believe, coming up?
Yeah, man, 13th spot right there. We've been trying to trade that pick for the longest. Ever since we got that pick, we've been trying to trade it. We're trying to give up Hoyter. We're trying to trade Harrison Barnes. We're trying to get the Zach LaVine maybe over there and stuff like that. So, yeah, that 13th draft pick, I don't think that we're going to hold on to that at all. But with that being said, I'm not too mad at it, man. Seeing the way that this draft is shaping up, you know what I mean? Nobody really is a top 7 player is looking like. So at that 13th spot, we might just get a sleeper. We could get the next Giannis. You know what I mean? So, hey, who knows?
You never know. There's word here they're trying to ship LaVine to Sacramento. Chicago's on a...
Yeah, that's been, though. So I already know that's been penciled in. Check it. That's been penciled in for like 4 years. We actually signed him when Minnesota gave him up, and then Chicago Bulls matched us or whatever, and then they got him. So yeah, and then earlier on in the season we were trying to trade for him, and then he got hurt 2 weeks earlier or later. So yeah, that's kind of a penciled in move over here. We're not going to be able to re-sign Malik Monk. He's going to get a big contract out there, and we can't pay it. So yeah. Give me the Zach LaVine, man. We need something. We need points, and we need somebody that can go out there and give me a consistent 22 points besides Fox and Sabonis. And
Yeah.
Keegan Murray's coming up, so.
Yeah, there you go. It's calling out Keegan Murray. They need more contributions from the rest of the supporting cast. It sounds very familiar to a team a little down south from you. They're very familiar there. All right, Millz. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you later.
All right, Tony. Appreciate everybody.
You got Millz Young here on the drive. Let's continue on here. Up next, we're going to bring in, we got baseball coverage here for the game in Alabama. Our man Wayne Scott, catch him over at Pick Dog Spring. We'll bring Wayne in here in just a second. As he's been having a knockout. He's amongst the unit leaders here in baseball for the year over at Pick Dogs. Wayne, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? What's going on, Pick Dog family? Hope y'all doing good out today.
All right, this one has national television. Fox will televise this one from Alabama, as we have the Giants and Cardinals head-to-head here. Should be blistering hot out there. Last check, I think it was 90 degrees at start time there. But it'll cool down as the game goes. Giants 109, total 9. Oh, did we lose Millz there for a second? I'm sorry, Millz. Did we lose Wayne there for a second? All right, well, let's see if we can get Wayne to get re-signed up. We have his pick here. So we'll see if Wayne. Let me get him back on my screen here. So if he does, when he does sign in, I'll be able to cue him back in. I just want to make sure I've got him here. All right, there's this picture. Okay, let's go to my pick, and then we'll get back to Wayne. We'll get to my selection here. Let's go here. We're going to go back to this Padre game, but I'll be looking at it a little differently. All right, we're going to move the chains here and go to Padres and Brewers, and the game I will be on tonight, it will be on, oops, that's going to be Wayne's pick. I'm going to go under 8.5 here. Maybe move to 9, even better. I'll take that. I know we got Mazur and Wilson on the hill tonight. Mazur's had his struggles, but again, I think we're going to see a lot of bullpen from the Padres tonight. I'm okay with that. Now, Wilson's put up some pretty good numbers, 19% strikeouts. But Milwaukee's the bullpen on the road has been phenomenal. 2.69 ERA. The Padres have had their struggles here hitting the baseball at home, and they've got a pretty good bullpen. And you look at the past 7 games, San Diego hitting just 202. And one thing to note here with this Padres team, they've really struggled at home. And of course, this is their first home game after an East Coast trip. They played yesterday in Philadelphia, and they make the flight that long flight back home, and they're on the baseball field today. So we'll be looking here at the Padres Brewers under 8.5. All right, over at Pick Dogs. I got a late night game tonight over at Pick Dogs, so get on board. I have a single play. Or you can always get on board with my long-term pass of a 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that time period. Select when you go to my handicap page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code Pick at checkout. We'll save you that 15% off. All right. I don't see a connection from Wayne, so that's going to just take us to the recap. Let's recap the plays. And you guys can go ahead and put in your show picks into the chats. All right, the recap. Alex was on the Panthers, tomorrow's NHL plus 101. Big on McMordie. Alexander Sark drafted number 2 at minus 110 odds. Kirk like the Sparks plus 15. Tony Brown and the Brewers minus 103. Millz on Daniel Rodriguez, UFC from Saudi plus 190. Wayne on the Giants here minus the 110. We got Wayne back here, so let's go ahead and we can bring him back in here as he can let us know about how this game here with the Cardinals game. Let's bring him in right now. Cardinals and Giants. We're going to bring in Wayne right now. Let's see, he got into a better connection area. So we'll see if we can get him in. Wayne, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? Here, my bad right there. Phone overheated. We good though. I'm up under this tree, so we good.
It's hot. It's hot. All right, here we go. Giants, Cardinals tonight.
Yes, sir. And for some strange reason, after both of these teams coming off of 2 losses, Cardinals coming off 2 losses against Miami though, and San Fran coming off 2 losses against Chicago. Cardinals have the stronger, better pitcher. Cardinals also have the stronger batting recently, but we still have San Fran here as a favorite, and I think it's for a reason. Keaton Wynn, he's not good, but he's a short inning guy. I think he can give us some serviceable innings with Cardinals coming off of those losses from Miami, coming off a 6-game road trip. I just think the bats may be sluggish coming out of Miami. And Andre Palente, he's been strong for the Cardinals. But he's a guy who plays a little bit longer, a little bit deeper in there. And San Fran hasn't been hitting well, but I think they can get they can hit them well tonight with them coming off that 6-game road skid. And besides that fact, San Fran's been playing strong against them, 7-3 in their last 10, 3-0 in their last 3. But all 3 of those were at the Cardinals' place. San Francisco plays good in game 1 of a series. Coming off a loss, and I just believe these teams have the same record. There's a reason why San Fran is favored on the road. We're going to take San Fran in this one.
All right, Wayne here, San Fran, minus 110. Neutral site game. This game played in Alabama tonight in this one. Oldest stadium, built 1910, renovated last year. Of course, let me take a look here at the temperature. Last day when I looked up the weather, yeah, it still says that. 90-degree temperatures here at start time. It's hot in Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama gets hot, Wayne.
That has to favor San Fran. I don't know. What do you think as far as weather-wise, just being used to that heat and humidity out there?
Yeah, that to me. I just think it helps the batters. That's why we've seen the total move from 8.5 to 9, and we've seen that move as it opened here. I think the opener was 8.5, and it started moving yesterday. When people start looking at the window, they start realizing that, hey, this is not in St. Louis. This is in St. It gets hot in St. Louis too. Don't kid me. It's probably just as hot over there. But right now we're getting through a heat wave, but we'll see how this one rolls. I think the ballpark dimensions pretty standard. They brought the fences in recently. There used to be a lot of outfield room back then, but it's going to play just to a normal park. I think it's 230 down the line, so the power alley is about 390 or so. But again, in this type of weather, we may see the balls. We may see the ball movement here. No doubt about that. So.
You're leaning towards that over 9. Sounds like it.
I would. When I first looked at it, when they handicapped it, I said over 9. Yeah, that's how I looked at it. And because also
it's understandable.
Too, the bullpens play too, right? San Francisco's got these. Man, I mean, I don't know what that submarine guy he doesn't hit well with me, man. When I need him to come through, he blows games. Have you seen him pitch on the Giants at submarine reliever? Name escapes me.
I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about him. I just hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't play. For your sake, I hope he's not in tonight. But I'm just.
I'm with you on that, but their bullpen overall hasn't been good. I definitely have seen noticed that in their last 10. They've been playing better competition, but their bullpen, quite frankly, hasn't been good. What I'm banking on is the odds makers being more right on the odds, the history of San Fran beating the Cardinals. They've been playing very well against them for some odd reason, and we're gonna continue to bank on that right here. It's a light favorite, like you said, that equal playing ground. To me, it also benefits San Fran because they haven't been too good on the road this year.
There you go. All right, so Wayne will be here on the Giants tonight against the Cardinals. All right, Wayne, let everybody know what's going over at Pick Dog Stream tonight. Short card, but heading into a pretty big weekend.
Yes, sir. I still got one game left, but that'll be for my long-term members. I won my play of the day after losing 6 straight. I had 4 winning days in between them, but it was a struggle with my play of the day. So ready to get back on track with that and continue to smash baseball. Huge baseball card tomorrow, I believe 14 games, 2 WNBA games. So I'm just ready to attack the board, finish strong tonight with this win for my long-term members, and continue to crush it.
That's right, guys. Got over Wayne Scott over at Pick Dog Stream, leader over in baseball this year, 2,308 units of profit. No better time than now to get on board with a long-term pass. Remember that 1 month all sports pass is the way to roll with Wayne, and 15% off using the promo code PICK at checkout. All right, Wayne, it's always great having you show. To you, that success. We'll catch up with you next week. But of course, you always keep an eye there on boxing.
Yes, sir. Like I kind of explained on the last show, for the ones who didn't see it, not really a great card this week because you typically don't see after a mega fight the next weekend, back-to-back mega fight. It's just not how boxers worked over the last year. But next week we're back in action with Estrada fighting, so that'll be one that I love to break down, and curious to see them odds.
There you go. Check them out. Like, subscribe, set notifications for those boxing vids. All right, Wayne, have a great night. We'll catch up with you next week.
I appreciate you for having me, Tony T. Good luck with all your best out, fam.
You got Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. All right, guys, we got you through the recap. We got Wayne's pick here for you. So we're going to announce the picks here pretty soon here for the chat room, right? So you guys go ahead and put your show picks into the chat, and we'll announce them live here in just a second. So let me go ahead and get back to this and let everybody know that's going to do it for this edition of the drive-thru. We'll be back again tomorrow live at 6 Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. We'll have a bigger card tomorrow. 14 games from Major League Baseball. Some action on the W, and of course action on the ice as well. Back tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Remember, it always gets started here live 10 at 30 a.m. Eastern time during the week with the morning show. You got Mitch, you got Chris, you got Jay. Of course, you got the video series. Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. His roundtable discussion with the professionals. Also, we have around the league with our man Chris, Ron Romanelli with his MLB breakdown. We also have against the public betting here with Dana Lane, contrarian plays from Brian Biller, all access from Big Al, sharp trading plays with Costi. Of course, the video series, the Nerfies, they're from our man Brad, as well as his parlay shorts as well from Jovan. Of course, Kirk, hard at work with the soccer, and of course, the totals from baseball. Lots of content here, guys, so make sure and go ahead and get signed up and subscribe to the YouTube channel here from Big Dogs. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Let's go ahead and get everybody's show pick for tonight. Blake was on the Brewers. Liberty plus 14 for Ron Hahn. What else do we have tonight? Let's see here. David Kleiner likes Liberty first quarter, laying the 4.5. And I think that's going to be the last call for it. That's going to do it here. All right, that'll do it for today. No, there was no chat pick tonight because there just wasn't enough games on the card, frankly, with you. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our crew from